Just as the Petty family is part of NASCAR history, so is Darlington. For over 40 years, fans have loved that place almost as much as the drivers have feared it. A win at Darlington is still considered the true test of how good a driver you really are. Dr. Jerry Punch takes a look at the early days of the Southern 500.
When Harry Gant captured the Southern 500 this past September, it marked the 42nd running of NASCAR's most tradition-rich event. While Gant is NASCAR's oldest winner, Darlington is NASCAR's oldest superspeedway. While the construction of Darlington Raceway back in 1950 was the dream of Harold Brazington and Jack Ramsey, it was the fans who lived out the fantasy of watching brave new heroes drive the South's first high banks. The track was constructed as an egg-shaped oval with turns 1 and 2 600 feet shorter than turns 3 and 4. This was done to keep from disturbing Ramsey's favorite fishing pond just outside the second turn. It was this odd shape that would turn Brazington and Ramsey's dream into a nightmare for drivers. The first Southern 500 was won by Californian Johnny Mance in a 1950 Plymouth. It was the first time NASCAR's stock car division had ever run on a paved oval. One driver still active who competed in the first Southern 500 is Herschel McGriff.
Well, I do remember I put the car, got in the car, drove it to Darlington, took the headlights out, bought a lot of tires and wheels for spares from the local service station because they didn't have racing tires available at that time. I blew 10 or 11 tires, just blew them out, had to change them with a wheel wrench. I even got out of the car a couple of times. The other thing, of course, I was only 22 years old. You know, that race was, I think, close to 8 hours long. The only thing I don't remember getting tired.
Believe it or not, open-wheel cars ran at Darlington, with future Southern 500 winner Buck Baker winning in NASCAR's Speedway division in 1952. A two-time National Stock Car champion, Herb Thomas was the first three-time winner of the Southern 500, winning in 1951, 1954, and 1955. But the Southern 500 is more than just a race. The festival surrounding the event in the early days included beauty pageants and parades that involved the entire South Carolina community. Always held on Labor Day weekend, the event attracted legendary crowds that became part of the fabric of the early days of the sport. In 1956, another legend, Curtis Turner, won his only Southern 500 before a record crowd estimated at 70,000 fans. It was quite an upset in 1959 when a Yankee, Jim Reed from Peekskill, New York, won the 10th annual Southern 500. Another big upset came in 1961 when Nelson Stacy from Cincinnati, Ohio, made his first NASCAR win a triumph in the famed Southern 500. Stacy passed Marvin Pence, driving in relief of Fireball Roberts, with only 7 laps remaining to capture the Labor Day Classic. In 1963, Fireball Roberts won his second and final Southern 500, averaging a remarkable 129.784 miles per hour. Throughout its early days, Darlington established itself with a tradition of speed, excitement, and crowd-pleasing action. In the decades that have passed, the legend of Darlington has only grown larger. From Johnny Mance to Harry Gant, every driver will agree, she's still too tough to tame.
My win at Darlington in the 1978 Rebel 500 is still one of the biggest thrills of my career. But I'll never forget crashing all 4 races in 1974 and 1975.